Hey guys, Caleb here with DSLR Video Shooter, and today we're talking about my new favorite LED light for video. No, I'm not joking. This thing right here is definitely my new favorite light for so many reasons. So let's jump in. What is it? This is the brand new Aputure F7 LED light. This is the Aputure H198. It is the older version of essentially what Aputure has just released, and I love it. It's pretty cheap, it's plasticky, it probably wouldn't handle a pretty significant fall, but I have, I think, 5 or 6 of these around the studio, and they're awesome. I throw a little gel on them, use them on backgrounds. They're great. They do have a couple problems, and build quality is one. You'll notice they're kind of bulky too, and there's no way to plug in power aside from using the battery. So, you know, they're almost there, but they're not quite perfect. But they're bright and fairly small. So this has just been replaced with this. And this sucker has so many great features. So let's go ahead and jump in, starting with what you'll get if you pick one up. In the box, you'll find a little bag from Aputure, and within the bag, you will find the light itself, a USB-C cable, as well as a brand new custom designed ball head or ball mount for the light. On closer inspection of the light, you'll notice there is a power switch on one side, as well as a little knob, a display on the back, an MPF battery mount, which is great. Flipping the light over to the other side, we have USB-C as a power option, which is awesome, and finally D-tap as well. So out of the gate, we have 3 ways to power this light: Sony MPF batteries, USB, and D-tap, which just pretty much covers everything out there. Size-wise, this is thinner and smaller than the previous model, the H198, and it has such a better build. The face here, you can see, looks very similar to the Aputure Tri-8, that kind of bulletproof style. You can really beat on this thing and not worry about it being damaged. There are 1/4-20s on 3 of the 4 sides, letting you mount it in any kind of different way. And now we're getting to the best part about this light, how it works when it comes to color and output. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it on for you. And right now we're at 5600 Kelvin. When you turn the light on, it starts in color temperature mode, meaning when you turn the knob, you'll notice the color temperature changes. We can go all the way up to 9,500 Kelvin. So you can see, if I put it near my face here, we're getting kind of a blue look, and then I can drop it all the way down to 3,200 Kelvin. So now we've got a nice warm light, and you'll notice that it has split lights. Now normally I don't like this because you're only getting half the output at any given color temperature. But what Aputure has done is they have placed 5,600 Kelvin right in the middle, letting you use all of the LED lights for maximum output. To change from color temperature over to changing your brightness, you just push in that dimmer knob, your nice little click, and now we're in dimming mode. So I'll go all the way up to 100%, put it on the background there. Pretty bright, as you can see. And this thing is bright enough to be used as a key light. So let me go ahead and demonstrate that for you. I'm going to turn the light off, and I'm going to turn off my main key light here in the studio. 1 second. So there's almost no light on me right now. There's a little bit of light from some monitors off to one side here. So what I'm going to do now is turn on the light, and I'm going to point it into what I use for my bounce lighting. So normally I have a light kind of off to one side, coming across the screen here, bouncing off of this big white surface, which I've talked about in a previous video, and you can check that out, and then bouncing it. So if I angle it just so, something like that, you can see we're getting pretty decent exposure. I'm at ISO 800 on my GH5, so normally this would be kind of hidden out of the frame, but you get the idea. It works pretty well. I've got another giant white source. I can bounce it off over here if I wanted to use it as a fill. Plenty of output. So that's bouncing light. I'm not even pointing it directly at me because that would be way too bright. But yeah, pretty nice stuff. Output and color on this light are great. I'll have some of those stats somewhere on the screen for you guys if you're interested, using my C700 light meter to measure that, or spectrometer. And there's just so many different uses for this thing. I'm really excited about using it as a key light like you guys saw earlier, bouncing it, diffusing it, and the fact that this is it for the light. I could pack several of these up. I will be purchasing more of them because, as you know, I've loved the previous model, and this one is just so much better with all that color option. So another thing you could do, and one I do all the time, what I think these lights are perfect for, in addition to now being able to be used as a key, is a background light. So I'm going to kill the background light behind me. So right now the only thing you're seeing is the background itself without anything on it. And boop, just like that, I can add a little bit of light. Let me go ahead and dim this down a little bit to kind of lower the effect. So that is daylight. If I can figure out how to light, there we go. Daylight right now, I can switch it to that 9,000 or 9,500 Kelvin all the way up. And now we get kind of a nice warm or cool look. So kind of a blue background. And of course, we can go all the way the other direction and get a nice warm kind of gold look back there behind me, which I think that looks really nice. Now, if you want to see what this thing looks like as a key light, there are two videos you can check out. One of them, I don't talk about the light at all, but I do use it for the entire video as my key light. So I'll have a link to that. It's a video where I talk about the GH5S. It's got a black background, and the whole video was lit using that light as a key. Worked great. Another video, I actually show you how to light using this with a bounce, and that video was all about small lights for all these low light cameras we're using these days, and how you can skip using massive 150 watt lights like I'm using right now and transition to something much smaller, but still use big, beautiful light diffusion and bounce sources. So that is the Aputure F7. To check pricing information and other stuff, check it out in the description below. Super stoked about this. The idea that you can throw this in a backpack with a USB battery, you could power two of them off of a single battery. D-tap, really rugged, great color quality, super bright. Another awesome thing when it comes to the output is not just how bright it gets, but how dim it gets. Most lights kind of stop at maybe 10% or 20%, but they don't go all the way down to 1. So you have very fine control when it comes to your output, and very granular adjustments, which I always like to see. Something else that's really slick about this light is the new ball head that comes with it. The old Aputure style ball head was just, you know, them using a generic style ball head, and it was terrible. That thing constantly failed on me. I've got tons of them that are broken, whereas they have designed their own custom ball mount, and it is so good. So I'm really hoping they start to sell those on their own, because they're phenomenal. They're really rugged, heavy duty. I would feel very safe putting a camera on that, much less a small light like this. So hats off to Aputure. That's really, really nice, and I need to buy a couple buckets of those. So that is going to do it for this video on the brand new Aputure F7. You can check it out in the description and find out more information when it comes to pricing, availability, as it should be available now or very, very soon. I'm a huge fan. It is now my favorite light. With all these low light cameras, this is just going to be such a great tool for us filmmakers. If you enjoy this video, check out the other lighting videos here on this channel. I've got a couple playlists where you can check out lighting tutorials, other light reviews from various manufacturers. Thank you to Aputure for shooting this out to me as a pre-release unit. Really, really good stuff. And really, that's going to wrap it up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.